ADD, Beyond, Ian, Maha, and Max. Beyond has really been the standout player on this team. I feel like he's certainly turned into a great jungler, and he's certainly a threat that CJ is going to need to be aware of.
At the end of the day, they've had 5 match wins, 4 MVPs for Beyond, so he's been their superstar. Big news, Ghost in for AD carry. So very young rookie mid laner and AD duo.
Yep, we have ADD on one team and BDD on the other team. We need CDD somewhere in the matches coming up, apparently.
That is the hope, but a lot of youth about this team. This is the team that honestly we're excited about when we looked at 2016 CJ Entus. A lot of those old names gone. Shy's still on the roster, but has not played a game this season. Ambition off to Samsung. We waited for CG to retool for years and years, and this is the result, I think. This is finally a team where there's some optimism about some of their starters. Is this going to be the final lineup? Is this their final form? Probably not. But it's a youthful lineup for CJ Entus.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, they did need some revitalizing. Obviously, the old roster, you know, Shy, Space, you know, these guys weren't really working out. Madlife is kind of the one constant and has been since the very, very beginning, since Mig Frost all the way back in, like, they formed in October 2011.
Yep.
So these guys have been around for a long, or Madlife at least has been around for a long, long time. And so we've got kind of the stable veteran, and then this team of, I'm not going to say rookies, but like newer players, right, that are still developing. So you can't, I don't think, get too excited either way about CJ's season right now. It's still very much a rebuilding year for this team. And
I think they have a lot of potential. We've talked about BDD time and time again. He's not carrying them to victories every game, but he's always looking competitive. Even in games they lose, BDD sometimes has lane control and gets overwhelmed by other lanes or the macro game going against CJ Entus. And I want to talk about the macro game because, honestly, CJ Entus has been Kramer-focused to a mistake, honestly, to a fault, I would say, because if you look at this guy, he gets the most gold or the most CS of any player in the league after 15 minutes. So when there's empty lane farm, it's going to Kramer. They're trying to build up Kramer. They played Protect the Jinx. They played Protect the Twitch.
Right.
Those are the comps that haven't worked. It's crazier stuff when they've gone for the strong front line. The Shen Hecarim comp that they ran against Rox Tigers that picked them up a victory looked very good. And you have to think that Ghost will change the priorities of that gold. Will that gold go to BDD? Will it just go to Ghost in a like-for-like way? Will Untara start to get some gold in top lane? These are the questions we don't know the answer to. It's why I wanted to see Ghost in the lineup, because it felt like they were too pigeonholed with Kramer, despite the fact that he had good mechanics, the laning phase sometimes went well. It felt like they were almost stagnating with Kramer. So will Ghost be the herald of a new era for CJ? I don't have the answer to that, but I hope it's something different from CJ Entus.
I feel like we need to see more improvement across the board from this team. I don't think any one player is really going to be able to sort of turn things around for them. I mean, if Madlife can't do it, no one can.
Sure, but if the numbers say that everything goes through Kramer when it comes to gold, kill participation, etc., taking him out is a big variable to change.
True. Might mean a little bit more action for everybody else. And now we're in our tiny little picks and ban box.
And the Hecarim is the first ban, so...
Yeah, okay. Hecarim is the first ban, which is kind of interesting, actually. I mean, I guess Untara does have that Hecarim scariness to him, but...
It's more about the jungle, actually, because CJ were running the jungle Hecarim, and carrying with it was Hecarim from Haru and Shen from Untara. Shen's been another pick that's been respect banned in other games, so we'll see if that's left up. ADD actually had a good Shen game himself.
Right.
Both these teams have had big wins with Shen, so we could see Shen as higher contested pick as first rotation on either side.
True enough. So Victor banned out by MVP, Italy, and Rise over on the CJ side of things. Waiting for the final ban from MVP.
A lot of power picks on the board. Again, could just be a target ban. It's just going to be a power pick, the Vladimir.
Yeah.
Karma is probably one of the biggest offenders still available. Italy banned already against Beyond. He got the MVP in Game 2 against Jinair with that jungle Nidalee.
Let's see what it's going to be. Nidalee would probably make the most sense, like you're saying, against Beyond. I'd be a little bit worried about leaving that. Oh, Nidalee's already banned. I'm so distracted by the fact that we're on the screen during this. We should not be on the screen during this.
It's going to be the LeBlanc ban. It was LeBlanc, Shen as the solo lanes they really excelled with. LeBlanc gone means they don't quite necessarily have a massive power mid laner, but Azir is still available. And BDD so routinely has Azir available that I thought maybe they'd have to take it away as first pick. Now CJ have the option to take it in their first rotation on the red side.
Yep, pretty much. Thinking about Hecarim, or rather Rek'Sai.
How you doing
It's
there,
one of
Dopa?
those days, man. I think the jet lag is starting to kick in. I'm going to be honest here. Rek'Sai getting picked up potentially by CJ, and I don't know. I mean, in a world where there's Aurelia,
You take the
do you
Azir.
really need to take the Fiora? You can take the Azir, I suppose, too. But
I mean, Aurelia as a lane matchup isn't great against Shen. We already
I
saw
suppose.
Trace try to pick Aurelia into Shen and get demolished against MVP, so maybe not a return to that. Will be the Azir for BDD. I believe maybe the first time this season, or a handful of times, it's been consistently banned specifically against BDD.
sure. Now MVP, they did play that. Amumu once.
Gragas from the jungle was also a big pick for them, but I like them when they're playing Sivir. Maha's been defaulting to that champion recently. I like him on the utility carries. Maha and Ian are the players from MVP that have most exceeded expectations for this team coming into champions. I said in the last broadcast, we thought these guys would probably be last ranked in both mid lane and AD carry, but they've both been good role players. They haven't necessarily been big carries, but they've done the role for the team, and they're actually going to lock in double AD carries. They're going to commit to the Varus mid for Ian.
Yeah, Sivir, Varus, the Shen will be good at kind of keeping both of those picks safe, I suppose, later in the game, theoretically.
See if they go for a turret sieging comp. It is risky. A champion like Shen sounds like it has a lot of synergy with these sieging comps, but because the channel time takes a while
Yeah.
and he can't just stand in the front and absorb skill shots, if you have a grab, if you have an initiation, Shen isn't there to stop it, so you can still get yourself in a really bad spot.
Well, do you think you could maybe run some sort of split pushing comp where you use the ultimates from Sivir and Varus to disengage rather than engage or chase people down?
So you've already committed to Shen and Varus your solo laners. It's not going to be 1-3-1 because Varus is going to sit
Yeah,
in
it's
the mid lane.
4-1, yeah.
But Shen as a 4-1 champion doesn't work because we haven't seen damage build on Shen. We haven't seen Trinity Force build on
Poppy.
Shen.
Wow.
Yeah, Untara's one of the big-time Poppy players, but Poppy's been falling in a priority for sure. You see Varus, though, you want engage, and Poppy's still very good at charging in. So still has some initiation options with that Poppy. Poppy versus Shen. Definitely not much kill pressure in the top lane.
It's not going to be a very exciting lane to watch, that's for sure. So maybe the Grog is for Beyond here. And not the Twitch. Unless it's jungle Twitch. Oh yeah.
The dream.
It's back, right? Well, Taric would be okay.
The Gragas makes sense if you got double AD to just push people away, stop any initiation from the side of CJ. Obviously, we saw Beyond win MVP with aggressive Gragas play, which is still possible. This can be a pick champion to go with the Shen and the Varus CC. With Taric, there is a lot of pick options when it comes to getting CC, and then the chain is real in multiple different ways, and they will lock the Taric.
Yeah. Could work out, and the Gragas as well.
So CJ have actually left AD carry for last. This is something they would do with Kramer. It kind of suggests they want to look for a hyper carry.
Well, Kog'Maw would certainly fit that bill.
See a lot of Kog'Maws recently, although Wit's End is actually an interesting option on the Kog'Maw. Gets you very far away from standard carry builds, but so above this game. I think it's going to be something more standard, though. When you see Gragas, Shen, Taric, I don't think you can go for a no-escape champion. Solution does make a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, if you pick Kog'Maw, you're still going to get poked by the Varus arrows at least. So yeah, something like an Ezreal would make a little bit more sense, be safer. Caitlyn, I kind of feel like would be in the same spot as a Kog'Maw.
I mean, look, you have the net.
Lesser degree.
Any champion with any sort of reposition, I think, is the minimum for CJ, but
Yeah.
maybe they'll bet on something crazy, bet on the power of the ultimate from Azir, and they will. Oh, no, they haven't locked it in
Maybe.
yet. They're heavily considering this Twitch, and they
Yep.
lock it in.
Wow, Twitch, okay.
So you take Kramer out of the lineup, and you still go for a champion like Twitch. There's honestly, at least in LCK, been very much a CJ special. Ghost has said that he loves to play aggressive. That's what separates him from Kramer. I don't know if Twitch is your go-to aggressive AD carry. You can get picks in the mid game, but the laning phase certainly going to be a struggle against the Sivir Taric.
Well, do you think they're going to want to turn that into a lane swap then? Possibly help Ghost and Madlife avoid that 2v2 for Ghost's first game?
Definitely a heavy possibility. Both the top laners can do just fine in lane swap territory, so it'll be exciting to see if they opt into it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we have it. The roster for this match that, I mean, again, maybe teams people aren't thinking of as the strongest right now in LCK, and that is true, but it is a chance for one of these teams to kind of show their stuff, move a little bit up in the rankings.
See if the trend exists for MVP. Just beat Jinair. Taking down CJ will be a steadier and put them right in the middle of the table. CJ honorable losses against Rox and Samsung. This is a game they looked on the calendar, they circled and said, this is a very winnable game for us.
Yeah, for sure. We will see if that remains true or not. I feel like nothing can be counted on an LCK anymore. Not after what happened in our first best of 3, man.
No disagreements, Doa. It's all up on the line. It's all available. Even top spot. Not necessarily rooted towards SKT's side, so anyone can take the LCK this season.
Yeah, I would say so. Except it's going to be SKT in the end. Probably. Said it first here. Well, guys, let's get into it. MVP versus CJ, game number 1. Time to get in the game. And an Ocean Drake. Seems like that's the Drake of the day.
No
Ocean
clouds
Drake.
for us, Doa.
I guess not. Not yet. I can't complain. So, one of the newest teams here in LCK versus one of the oldest in MVP versus CJ. And Ghost, his first game as a professional League of Legends player.
And it's on Twitch, which
Yeah.
definitely has a high element of risk. Not the strongest laning champion, so 2v2 action will be difficult for CJ, and that's why we see Ghost cheating towards top of the map to try and enact a lane swap for CJ Entus. So far, so good.
Yeah, no big shock there. And Max once again on that Taric. Should be interesting.
I'm going to be interested to see the Shen and the Poppy tussle. To me, it's going to be a little bit like Shen versus Echo, and that Shen can just build pure tank and push out damage with a Q-Max, which now scales on defensive stats. So I think just on the nature of all tank items being nerfed basically in recent patches, carry items being buffed, and Poppy seeing targeted nerfs for patches upon patches, it seems to me like Shen will win the pressure war in a 1v1, but not with kill pressure or anything like that.
It's probably true. As you can see from the stats on the screen, not the greatest win rates or KDs for either of these teams, and an early gank onto ADD, forcing the flash out of that Shen right away.
Smart of CJ to wait for ADD to commit to a spell. He moved that big sword of his, the ninja sword, I guess you could call it, and was caught out.
Well, now Madlife just harassing beyond an ADD a little bit.
ADD took the blue. That's awkward.
That's not really what you want.
No, that's really bad, actually.
Yeah, he just came in and took it. Thanks a lot, ADD.
So now, I mean, Gragas does have some pretty severe mana problems in the first clear, so it's going to really decrease the speed now. I mean, they were always going to go into a lane top or jungle follow after exiting lane, but not ideal to give Shen that buff.
Slow on to BDD. Ian sticking around for a lot of damage, but taking a lot on that Varus. Max didn't come in for the dazzle. So a little bit, I'm not sure what they were really, I mean, you can see kind of what they were planning, but it was very awkwardly executed.
BDD was like, why is this guy taking free damage? I'm probably being ganked now.
Yeah. It was not the most, not the cleverest gank we've ever seen. Looks like it will be the lane swap though, the trade coming in on the bottom, and top tier ones.
You see in full display what's happened with the experience changes for the jungle camps. Ian is watching Haro and Award, but the big story is that even though he took that blue, not level 2 pinged for ADD in the jungle follow, still level 1 when he goes to take down these turrets.
Yep, that's right. The top laner is definitely not benefiting anywhere near as much from the jungle follow as they used to.
Which I think is a good thing. Jungle follows, as a strategic choice, should have a lot of punishment for dodging lane. Should only be, it's one of those things where when lane swaps make sense, you know, when for example Twitch doesn't want to opt into a 2v2, there should be a punishment somewhere else on the map rather than just everyone trading and being happy with that result. So I like it. That's what happens when you have no blue. It's much harder to jungle.
Yeah, Beyond getting very low going after that Gromp. And Haru just kind of chilling in the mid lane, near the mid lane anyway. It's like, alright, I'm done with this. Turrets go down on each side. And it's kind of the lane swap we'd expect action-wise. In keeping up on CS despite appearing to take a lot of poke damage.
So the other thing about opting into a lane swap with a Twitch lane is you kind of get two benefits. So you dodge the 2v2. We already outlined that early 2v2 is not something Twitch does well. The other thing to consider is that when all outer turrets are out, which is what will happen if we see MVP and CJ commit to top and bot respectively, then there's a lot more space for Ghost once he hits level 6, once he gets one item, to get in there with the ambush and get picks. So Twitch really benefits from outer turrets being down because he can go for those early aggressive moves with his invisibility, and that's going to be the world we live in because it's going to be mirror turrets taken in just a couple of months.
I don't know if I want to live in that world, Smithy.
With surprise rats everywhere?
Yeah, that sounds kind of scary, man. I don't want to be surprised by any rats. Unless it's like Splinter from the Ninja Turtles who's going to teach me the martial arts.
So you're okay with surprise knowledge bombs?
Yeah, that's right.
And Tara's being cute here. You see, as the jungle follow is happening, he's like, I'm just going to stay and get some experience.
Yeah.
Not many people check this bush. We saw this recently. It's really funny to see.
Seriously. The hidden Poppy is the most experienced.
That is exactly what's transpiring here.
Yep. It's like, well, I wish I could do something about this turret, but I can't. If only MVP knew what an easy kill was awaiting them in that brush.
So Ackerman, of course, was most famous for doing this back in the LMQ days in NA. One of the reasons that teams didn't do this in the past was, of course, you just pop in the jungle and get experience, but I already mentioned it. If you don't have a smite item, right now the experience you get from that jungle fall is actually pretty low, so yeah. Hoping for experience here. Look, there's some worlds where you just die doing this, but you're going to get more experience doing this than in any other semblance of trying to enter lane, so it's actually probably the percentage right choice for Antara.
Well, he's been able to keep up on levels with ADD's Shen, at least, at this point.
Will mean their tempo is slower in the lane swap. We see Taric switch back to bot, and Sivir there as well, so as long as they take it down, nothing will be lost from CJ, and yep, with the ambush bot will be turret taken to answer and CJ. A little bit slower, but turret taken nonetheless.
Yep. In the end, it's fine. Should be roll pretty even. Chains of Corruption on to BDD right away. Gets that Summoner Cleanse out of the way. Ian trying to maybe set things up for a gank a little bit later. It's a good trade. All for a Summoner.
Also, if you hit the next Chains of Corruption, you also have the fact that there's no real way to stop the Gragas ult from hitting, because then you won't be able to flash during that.
Yeah, that's true.
Route from the Chains of Corruption.
So MVP with an opportunity to maybe go and grab the Ocean Drake at this point.
They push up bot, then they certainly will have that. From looking to help mid, Twitch is looking to pick up some minions, so we're always going to have a pretty comfortable wave clear advantage. So more options available to MVP in the early game.
A good poke from Ian. Whoa, BDD going in. Nice. Ultimate gets the Emperor's Divide. Ian has to pop that heal to try to get away, flashing back over the wall. Good escape from this Varus, and he will actually make it out. That was a tricky play from BDD, but Ian was just ready for it, I guess.
It's the reason why we've always been so optimistic about BDD is his aggressive mindset. He's another mid laner who's looking for the kill. Faker's this kind of mid laner, Mickey's this kind of mid laner, and it's nice to have another one in the league like BDD.
Yep. Wow, Tara immediately jumping on the ADD as he comes back into lane, trying to deny a little bit of CS at least. But now Beyond coming in, they may go for a gank here on this Poppy. Tara's still got the flash though, so we'll see if Beyond comes over the wall after going after that romp.
He's close to level 6 if he kills in a few more minions, but Beyond takes the camp.
He doesn't have the smite though. There we go, flash body slam, explosive cask used, and Tara popping that W to try to dodge the dashes. Going back in, flashing into the jungle, but Ian right there. Oh, he misses his E though. Beyond is there to help him get the kill anyway. Ian picks up the first blood for MVP.
It is great timing because it's just as Ian wanted to walk over to pick up the blue buff. He gets extra kill involvement, so
yep. Feeling
pretty great about that. First item rush is the tier, but also the CDR boots, and the Summoner Spell cooldown reduction will actually be very relevant to him, so nice little pickup and kill on top. Very nice.
Yeah. Ian's looking in good shape on that Varus. Ghost, meanwhile, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him. And what do you expect from a Ghost, though, really?
Filling the name, I guess, Stella.
He only pops up once in a while. Kind of like Twitch. He just pops up once in a while. And kills you. Like some ghosts.
The not-so-friendly ghosts.
Yeah, that's right.
Yomo's Ghost Play going to be first item for the Twitch. Always been a staple of Twitch builds. Used to be Blade the Ruin King into Youmu's, but with all the changes, just Youmu's rush into probably the Runan's Hurricane.
See, the Youmu's Ghost Blade is not a very good ghost, because you see it all the time.
But it's got Ghost in the title.
I know. But I mean, it's not like if it was a sword that only popped up once in a while, a ghostly sword. But nope, it's pretty much in everybody's pocket.
So Death's Dance then, the sword item that no one builds.
There you go. Called Death Ghost, or Ghost Dance.
Ghost Dance sounds frightening.
Spooky. Looks like it will be the Ocean Drake for CJ. And they won't have any really real opposition. Only Max there.
Sivir just back, so it's good timing from CJ Entus. No real option to contest, even though their item timings were superior in the early game. And Infernal Drake, like you mentioned.
Yeah, Infernal Drake coming up next.
Still no clowns. No.
A world without Cloud Drakes. It's been a great night, hasn't it? Well, except for when SKT got 2-0 by Afreeca. But other than that, it's been a great night, Drake-wise.
You take the good with the bad.
I guess so.
A good night Drake-wise sounds like a concert plug.
A good night with Drake.
Yep.
Oh. Aru coming in, being the least threatening Rek'Sai. Oh no, least threatening Chains of Corruption to follow that up. It's a battle to be the most least threatening.
Pacifists engaged in the mid lane. But it's just wave clear wars in the side lanes. The moment that Twitch picks up Youmu's, that's when the game gets interesting, because then Twitch will feel he has enough items to start going for those big ambush engages. That one item power spike of the Ghost Blade, but not to be found just yet.
He is working on it.
MVP have a pretty significant wave pushing advantage in the Sivir lane, so in general, they'll feel hard done by if they don't have the control of the Drakes. And with CJ picking up the first, it's a bit of a steal away, given the pressure advantage. Oh.
Max in a lot of trouble here. The attack from Haru comes in, trying to line up that Dazzle. He's going to flash away. Looks like he might be able to make it out. Teleport canceled. Tara deciding not to come down. And I don't know if he really needed to TP there.
Trying to counter, but when you're against a Shen, every little mistake like that is amplified.
Yeah.
Something as well. Teleport's still available, actually just coming back for ADD. The ult on a much shorter cooldown, even if you cancel that teleport.
Oh, going for the mid lane turret now. BDD looking for a big play. Misses everybody with the Empress of Hyde. Oh, man, that was embarrassing. I don't know what to say. That's just BDD's worst nightmare, man.
He did his best Phoenix impression, but
he missed
everyone.
He missed 4 people with an Emperor's Divide. Ouch.
Yep. We don't have player cams for this game, but the facepalm is probably real.
I know. That's one where your face is permanently buried in your palm for the rest of the game. You have to play with one hand after that.
So Mado will do just great. He's famous for playing with one hand.
I guess so. I guess so. Well, you know, props to BDD for trying to make plays. And we know he's capable of making them. It just, that was not his best moment.
The punishment will be just waves being pushed in, so no big objective from the questionable engage from BDD. Use both summoners as well, so could see a repeat gank onto the mid lane. Twitch has Youmu's Ghost Blades. Let's see if Ghost can put his aggressive mindset to use now.
Yeah. Now, one of the great things about Kramer so far this season has been that he's been able to really help CJ out in team fights. He's been great with positioning. He's been able to do a lot of damage. Can Ghost fill that role too? CJ has always been a team fighting team.
We have literally no data points to draw on. It's a new dawn with Ghost. We don't know if this is just a one-off game, a one-off series, or if he's going to be a staple of the lineup, but
we'll see.
Looking to learn about this new AD carry.
Looks like they will get the Rift Herald, and that might go over to Untara. See who they decide to send it over to. But MVP coming up. There's Max, there's Beyond Teleport. They're going to try to fight this. Flash Body Slam, Explosive Cask used to split up CJ. Untara misses everybody with the Poppy ultimate. Are they going to keep chasing? This is kind of a, wow, actually, nobody gets the buff. Ha!
The enemy team can't pick it up, so just stays on the ground. Time's out. There was a big disconnect between members. Varus wasn't anywhere near the fight. Sivir didn't even pop ult, so it seemed like MVP wasn't serious about the fight that Beyond clearly wanted to initiate. They deny the glimpse of the Void buff, but hardly a massive victory, I guess, for that investment from MVP.
The fight was more awkward than the dialogue in a Wes Anderson film.
But not as awkward as literally BDD's engage a couple of minutes previous.
Yeah.
Don't know what that says about Wes Anderson films, but
I think the awkwardness is
MVP continue to push up. This is what happens when you have Sivir versus Twitch. You should have significant wave advantages in multiple lanes. They also have the Stand United. Tyrus teleports back up though.
Well, Ghost has really been that this game. He's not even there for the mid lane turret take. MVP's just going to get it anyway.
BDD can't walk up, doesn't have any summoners after his previous escapades. Ghost late on the rotation in his first competitive match, and MVP have a very slight lead, but it's a couple of thousand gold.
Well, fire him. It's too late. It's done. Bring back space.
That's what we take away from this season.
We're there in Ghost Prison.
Isn't Space playing Overwatch now?
I don't know, is he?
I think he played in a couple of matches. I don't know if he's a competitive player, but
Yeah, I don't.
he's around.
I have not heard that he's really committing to it, so
It's fair.
there is a really good player on the Asian server named Long Panda, though, which made me wonder. But no, it's not the same Long Panda. It's a different guy.
Did you ask?
I did. I actually did, because I had to know.
Are you sure he just didn't lie to you and then put your name in the panda note?
No, I'm not sure. I might be in the Panda note.
Oh,
That's true. But I'm okay so far. And it's Infernal Drake time, and everybody wants the Infernal Drake. CJ has Haru in position right away. And are they going to start it? Yes, it looks like they will. Beyond in position. This is going to be bloody. CJ has to back away. Infernal Drake taking some damage. CJ has the positioning though. MVP coming in. They want to take it. They do not take it. CJ manages to grab it. Max goes in deep. Gets low. They survive for now. The Braum ultimate comes in, and now CJ turning it around. Exhaust onto Goso. Gets caught. Gets taken out. A kill for Ian. And CJ on the run now. They got the Infernal Drake, but they're not going to win this team fight. BDD forced to use that Emperor's Divide just to disengage. And not the most impressive positioning for Ghost in his first team fight ever.
No, but it was a real hero play from Untara. He ulted out just one person, but it was Beyond who was trying to Gragas body slam in for the steal. So watching the replay, Untara channels the ult and literally cancels body slam with the ult. Means they get the Infernal Drake from here. We mentioned it already. MVP have the power in the early game. Twitch cannot outdamage the Sivir and Varus for now. Beyond finally rejoins the fight, and it's with the mini stun into the wall with the explosive cast. They take out Ghost, but as you said, was too far up. Yep. And CJ just walk in different directions. BD hadn't used the ult already to fend for Ghost, so uses it to fend for himself. A kill in trade for Infernal Drake is pretty decent from CJ's side, though.
I suppose. Ghost going a little bit too far up to try to finish off Max, but ended up, like you said, getting hit with that explosive cast from Beyond. I don't think he was expecting the Gragas ult to still be up at that point in the team fight. Maybe not noticing that Beyond was knocked out immediately by Untara.
He also was foxed by the deceptive tankiness of the Taric. Still has that extra armor from his W. Still is very, very tanky as a melee support. He flashed in aggressively to kill a 400 health Taric, but that 400 health Taric had probably about 100 armor behind that HP, so wasn't really close to dying. It's not like it's a reset champion. Sure, you get the ambush cooldown back up, but I think flashing for a Taric, it's not what you want to be doing if you're Ghost.
Yeah, sounds about right. So the small lead for MVP continues, but CJ with that Infernal Drake now, with both Drakes in fact, may be able to mount a bit of a comeback.
I've consistently seen teams try to fight early gold with Drakes, and unless you manage to finally get some picks, take some map control back, you just kind of get bled out. And it's definitely a danger that will happen this game. You see multiple people from MVP pushing into this inner turret.
Well, bye. Gonna save that turret for the moment anyway, pushing ADD back.
Varus will go answer the Twitch split push in bot lane.
Well, the Azir turret's kind of nice. Keep that tier 2 a little bit safer for the moment.
So this is actually a little mini win for CJ. If they're able to swap farm on Ghost for basically farm on 4 members of MVP. That's a pretty good spot for them to get Ghost bigger and bigger. He very much needs to pick up the Hurricane to have a bit of AoE pushing to complement what Azir will be able to do.
Right.
Now he has to group with the team.
MVP looking like they want to try to fight here, but CJ not really going to give them the opportunity right now.
Beyond flashed at some point. I missed that.
Oh yeah, he did.
Strange.
I did not see a reason for him to do that either.
No flashes used on CJ's side.
No.
Must have been off camera.
Must have been. I feel like Shen's sword is just an accident waiting to happen, man. I mean, because it flies at him. I wouldn't want that. I mean, even if I had a magical ghost sword that kind of flew around the map, I wouldn't want it flying at me whenever I did something.
But the weird thing is if you're on his team and he commands the sword towards you, you don't take damage from it, and then it somehow makes enemy auto attacks not work anymore in the area.
I don't know, man.
Are they intimidated by the sword and no longer wish to auto attack?
One can only speculate.
It is a magical sword though, so power of magic behind it seems to be pretty effective.
That's true. It's the power of magic. Never forget. In the meantime, ADD creeping his way to the mid lane, and then turning around immediately.
Has flash, so look for the taunt flash engage. And MVP have a lot of pick CC, so once CC resonates, they are very likely to pick up a kill. With that sort of game plan, you push up your pick wards, you get exclusive vision, then you look for that first kill, and then the Baron. That's the plan right now for MVP.
Well, by the same token, too, I mean, if you're looking at picking on the relative rookie in Ghost, you just wait until he pops up, and then you just blow him up with all your CC.
That's why getting aggressive pink wards down and spotting him when he thinks he's ambushing in unbeknownst is very important for MVP.
Well, that's the thing, is you need to get pretty close to Twitch to do, you know, a lot of that damage. And how do you get close to this team that MVP has?
Right, when the ambush is down especially, basically going to be completely zoned out of a fight. Yeah. Pink ward on the Baron, pink ward in the river brush, but good answering pink wards towards the top side and behind the Baron buff for CJ Entus. Item timings not necessarily massive just yet. Ian does have a Mana Moon and the Yoma's Ghostblade, so 2 items completed for the Varus. Just waiting for MVP to really push up their vision and look for those picks, because 3 pink wards are sticking on the red side jungle. With the power of MVP's early game, they should be able to contest these wards a lot more effectively than they have.
I'll have to see what Drake is next to. Not gotten a glimpse of that yet. But it's up in about 5 seconds.
CJ don't seem too interested in it, given that they've sent Twitch the top lane.
That may give us a clue about what Drake it might be. It is. It's a Cloud Drake.
Yay!
Wow.
Our first of the night.
Oh, MVP going for it. This is their big moment.
Will they be able to take it down?
Their first Drake of the game. And they will take it. The Cloud Drake going to MVP.
And another one to follow it up, Doa.
Wow. That's amazing. All right, so they're a little bit quicker. See what they can do.
Well, if they decide to go to mid lane, they'll get there quicker, Doa.
Yep, that's true. A whole 0.5 seconds. Ooh, makes a big difference. Ian. Ooh. Nearly poking BDD.
Tara's looking for a flank. Will be spotted potentially by the blue trinket ward.
Yeah. You know what, Papa Smithy?
What?
I think it's time that we make Cloud Drake great again.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, really, from now on, every skill shot that MVP hits, every ability that they dodge, is in my mind really due to Cloud Drake. Because if it's at all close, they would not have dodged or hit that without the Cloud Drake. So from now on, Cloud Drake gets some credit.
And we can also look at it from an MVP perspective. They're the team with the Cloud Drake, exactly. They're the team that has also a lot of this initiation pick CC.
Right.
The taunt flash might have been just on the radius because of the extra movement speed.
They would hit none of it. They would hit none of it without the Cloud Drake.
I'll watch for it in the replays, though.
That's right. Let's watch for the Cloud Drake effect, Papa Smithy.
Okay.
I bet it's going to be big. All right. Max coming in. Oh, Haru's right there. They poked him.
He's quick.
I know, that's right. They're trying to catch him, and ooh, doesn't get him with the dazzle. It's close. Maybe needed one more Cloud Drake on that to hit it. Hard to say. It's possible.
It's a sweet spot. The second Cloud Drake.
I know, that's what you really need. Would have gotten that pick. Alright, CJ rotating up to the top lane now. Oh, they might find Maha. Uh-oh, Maha in a little bit of trouble. Silveralt flash. He avoided that Unburrow because of the Cloud Drake. He would have totally gotten hit otherwise. Beyond coming in. That's the explosive cast onto Haru. Trying to take him. Oh, Dazzle does not hit, but they still get the kill anyway. Maha lands it. Utara comes in on that Poppy. ADD going deep, man. He's getting aggressive on the Shen. Beyond coming in. Doesn't hit the body slam. Needed another Cloud Drake on that one. Madlife a little bit low. MVPs. Wow, they really rocked CJ with that team fight. PDD getting out of there, but I think it's going to be a Baron for MVP.
One of the big issues with the Twitch, though, is that you can just Shen ultimate onto the Sivir, negate the early damage, turn around, and they have so much Pixie. They shut down the Twitch. They've taken out the jungler. Baron down to 4,000, but Untara still lurking around.
Well, BDD goes in. They want to try to mess up MVP, but I don't know. There's a lot of health left on this team. Thanks for the ace, bros. Enjoy your Baron. Thank you, Cloud Drake.
Max also crucially had exhaust up, so instantly the moment that he saw the play used in. But this is what happens when you look for the initiations with Twitch. Maha has the ult, and that's when he turns around, has the Shen coming in. Even though the taunts don't hit, Haru's overextended. Very nice explosive guys, just onto one member as Max kind of looks for a crazy dazzle play.
Yeah,
when he already had that challenge, but it didn't matter. Like this, they just extended from here. The next taunt hits crucially onto Ghost. Beyond takes him down, and MVP get Baron off that engage.
I mean, CJ just kind of giving him the ace at the end there. It seems surprising that they thought they could really make a difference with this Baron take.
So when you think about this, when you're BDD, you're like, okay, the magic resist shred is coming from the Baron. They're going to take so much damage if I get my combo with the ultimate, but the moment he launches in, the real person to talk about here is Max, because the moment he sees him coming in, exhaust. No damage goes through before the exhaust, so BDD just dies for free.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Baron and extra kills for MVP.
Doesn't even get to use that ultimate, and now the big push coming down the mid lane for MVP.
The wave clear outside of Azir is not great from CJ Entus.
Yeah. Wow. Easy mid lane tier 2 for MVP.
Potential another shutout game in terms of kills. None on the board for CJ.
That's right.
This is where things get very oppressive. When you have both pick CC and the strong poke of a champion like Varus, even Azir can't walk up. His cleanse is down. He just can't take that risk, so they have to watch as MVP take turret after turret.
Yeah. Certainly seems that way. CJ may be looking for a way to fight this, but I don't think so, man. 8,000 gold lead already for MVP, and they can just bounce between middle and top lane. Or middle and bottom, rather. Leave top for later. They've already gotten a couple turrets. Already extended that lead. ADD going down to the bot lane to do a little bit of split pushing. For a second anyway, until the rest of the team shows up. Oh, nice poke onto Haru.
MP have played very smart. They took the permanent objectives. They gave up the Drakes, but they're so much stronger in these fights with their early power spikes.
MVP got the best Drake of all. They got the Cloud Drake, man. Utara coming in. He's going to try to body slam Max there. Utara, whoa, gets blown up completely, though. Madlife went for the Braum ultimate, but there was no follow-up. ADD tries hit with a taunt, can't quite get it. That's going to be an inhibitor. The Azir turret as well. So CJ trying for an engage, and if they can't win that fight, I don't think they're going to be really winning anything else this game.
They just don't have the Wombo engaged. A couple of times that BDD's looked for a big play has been punished. They basically have to watch as here goes another inhibitor turret.
Yep, and another inhibitor soon afterwards. Utara back up at about 15. And MVP lacking a little bit of health on some of their members. No need to push this any farther. They will back off.
Just a lot of order and intelligence to the playstyle that MVP took down Jin Air with, and now have pretty confidently disseminated CJ Entus with. CJ changed their AD carry. I wonder, is this advent of a new CJ? And then they lock in Twitch, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Potentially with a downgrade, because Kramer was a great late game team fighter. It's just ironic that the best CJ games have been when Kramer's been on a utility carry and they've been running the big front line. They've been giving gold to people other than Kramer to have a massive Hecarim in the late game, to have a Shen, because they've looked good with the Shen pick as well outside of those Jinx games. Whereas MVP, they were like, okay, you're getting some Drakes, but we've got Sivir, we've got Varus hitting power spikes, we've got all the extra options of Shen with teleport, and we're just going to pick up objective after objective with CJ just watching on without an option to contest.
That's right. Now that they have 2 Cloud Drakes, they will be barely hitting even more skill shots, or barely dodging the abilities from their opponents. It's the incredible strength of the Cloud Drake.
Doa approved.
That's right. I decided why fight it. Just
Embrace the Cloud Drake.
Accept the Cloud Drake as your overlord of the Drakes.
Isn't that the Elder Drake?
All Drakes. Well, except for that one, yeah. Strongest of the 4 regular Drakes. Elemental Drakes.
Come back from North America with renewed optimism, Doa.
That's right. I was thinking about it a lot. You know, I had a 12-hour flight to really think about the Cloud Drake and how my life fits in with the Cloud Drake.
Which stages of grief did you go through with 12 hours of consideration of the Cloud Drake?
No, I just learned that the Cloud Drake is the best Drake in League of Legends.
Okay.
I finally figured it out. I had an epiphany up there at 36,000 feet, up where the Cloud Drakes soar. As I became one with the Cloud Drake. Oh, see, he needed a third one to hit that chance of drop. Nutara coming from behind with the flank. BDD going for the big play on Azir. He gets a big Emperor's Divide. Zhonya's right at the end. Only has like 10 health left. Goodbye. MVP Maha gets the kill there as ADD goes in. Big body slam from beyond. Big explosive cask as well as Nutara finds himself on his own. Double kill now for Maha. And meanwhile, the super minions taking out the Nexus turrets. And this looks like it's going to be about it. MVP coming in for a bit of a close early game, but I would say after about 15 minutes or so, it was all MVP. CJ, I gotta say, poor Ghost, not the greatest first game for him. There goes the Nexus. Praise Cloud Drake, GG.
11-0 kill score, though. Another game 1 where the enemy team picks up no kills, but MVP, very ordered play. They looked good. CJ, they changed one of their core members, but basically presented exactly the same meal that they've done every other time, and that meal's gone wanting many a time.
Meal?
That's right.
Well, I think CJ was the one who fed that time, yeah. I did. They were providing a meal.
They provided a meal.
It's true. MVP getting that game 1 win. And, you know, you got to think if it goes like that for game 2, we're not going to be here very long tonight because that was looking, for the most part, pretty one-sided. BDD, too, on that Azir, you know, just not able to really hit any of those big plays that he was trying to hit.
And look, BDD is kind of the player on this lineup that tries to make things happen in the early game. A lot of the members, Haru on Kindred maybe, but everyone else, Madlife accepted, really looks to someone else to make the plays. BDD on LeBlanc has made things happen in the early game where the rest of his team has fallen down.
Yeah.
But this game, he went way wide trying to make things happen and kind of exacerbated the weak early game for CJ.
True enough. Yep. So what do you do? If you're CJ from here on out, I mean, do you just put Kramer right back in again for game number 2? I think you probably give Ghost a bit more experience. It's only 1 game. It wasn't a great start for him, but, you know, you've got a lot of season left. You're probably not looking at going very far in the playoffs if you even make playoffs, so might as well get this guy some experience. That's what I say.
I think it's more harm than good if you take him out before game 2.
Totally.
Give him a chance to get settled. That's his first game. That's the stage nerfs gone. Try something different maybe. A bit more of a standard AD carry, or maybe even just a true utility AD carry. And just, again, CJ, please, something different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really kind of, like you said, kind of throws into question if CJ does have anything different, and it doesn't look like they do at this point.
I mean, that's more on the coaching playbook, I would say. If with 2 different AD carries, we get the same result, which, unfortunately for CJ, outside of those crazy games like the Shen Hecarim, has been consistently just these defeats.
Yeah, well, we will have to see what happens in game number 2 when we come back to see if CJ can tie things up. Don't go anywhere, guys. MVP versus CJ coming back in just a few minutes here on LCK Summer on OGN. We'll see you then. I tried. Yep. Oh well.